Hello, how are you? In general, everything is fine, but my wife and I started having some problems. Oh no, what happened? I started to notice that my wife wasn't talking to me as much as she used to, and we weren't cuddling, kissing, or being close like we used to. I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to sit back and let things fall apart, so I wanted to tackle the issue head on. I had a chat with my wife to try and figure out what was going on between us. And what did she say? Initially, my wife was hesitant to talk, but after some time, she opened up and shared that she felt like I wasn't meeting her needs. She expressed that she had been doing everything on her own and didn't feel like she could rely on me. That must have been tough to hear. It was. My love for my wife runs deep, so when she opened up about feeling like she was doing everything on her own, I took it to heart. I knew I had to step up and make some changes to show her that she could count on me. But do you think her accusations are true? No, I don't think so. Even though I work from home for about 10 hours, I still make sure to take care of our boys afterwards. That includes playing with them, feeding them, taking our older son to the pool, and putting them to bed. On top of that, I also handle a lot of the household chores, like doing the dishes, grocery shopping, and cleaning. I want to do everything I can to make my wife's life easier. It sounds like you're doing everything you can. Exactly. I'm not a very active person. I don't have a long to-do list like some people do. When I'm finished with my tasks, I prefer to relax and de-stress. Plus, I'm not interested in starting my own business. I'm great at what I do, and I like taking directions and doing my job to the best of my ability. There's nothing wrong with that. I know, but my wife was starting to have problems with it. She wants someone who is more active and ambitious. It's tough because I just want to have a happy family and make a decent living. I understand. It sounds like you're willing to work on yourself and your relationship, though. Yes, absolutely. I love her so much, and I want to make things work. I just hope she can see that I'm doing everything I can. 2 weeks later. Joseph, I don't know where to begin. I feel like my whole world is crumbling down. What's going on, Aiden? You can talk to me about anything. I had this feeling that my wife was cheating on me, and it was tearing me apart. I didn't want to believe it, but I had to check it out. What did you do? I installed a voice-activated recording device in our car, but I made sure not to include a GPS feature. Elizabeth used the car for work and went to some sort of practice session. While driving, they made or received a couple of phone calls, and I have no idea who they were talking to. But thanks to that recorder, I heard every single word of those conversations. And what did you hear? They were talking about all sorts of things, getting really close and sharing details about their lives. It reminded me so much of how my wife and I were when we first met. The attraction, jokes, and all the things that made us click. But it's been ages since I've felt that with her. To make matters worse, she told him she loves him and wants to visit him. They even talked about their favorite love position and his... she said she's going to leave me and become his wife soon. That's tough, man. I'm sorry you had to hear that. I'm just so shocked. I can't believe this is happening to me. I've been with her for so long, and we have kids together. Have you noticed any oddities in her behavior before this? One time, Elizabeth tried to call her ex-boyfriend 4 times in a row at 11 p.m. I found out because of an app that saved 2 phone numbers. I was confused as to why she would try to contact him, especially since she didn't even talk to him. When I confronted her about the phone calls, she lied straight to my face, Joseph. I couldn't believe it. But I had the evidence right there on the app, so she eventually had to admit it. That's terrible, Aiden. What did she say when you asked her why she was calling him? So, Elizabeth said she was just returning a call from her ex-boyfriend, but I didn't believe her. I showed her the message she sent him after the call, and she couldn't explain it. She said he called her when he was drunk and just talking nonsense, so she told him to go away and hung up. But then she felt bad and tried to call him back 4 times without success. Finally, she sent the message when he still didn't answer. What do you think it means? Around the same time, my partner started pulling away from me. And I can't shake the feeling that these things are connected. But the most concerning part is that she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. She seems to think it's fine to keep things from me, and that talking to her ex doesn't matter. To be honest, I can't accept that at all. I can understand why you feel that way, Aiden. It's a breach of trust, and it's not something that can be easily forgiven. But what are you planning to do now? I don't know yet. I'm thinking about getting a divorce, but I want to be careful about it. Even though I'm pretty mad right now, I know that seeking revenge isn't the right approach. Instead, I think it would be smart to talk to a lawyer and figure out what my legal options are. Elizabeth and I have 2 kids together, so I'm really worried about causing them even more upheaval in their lives. Of course, you have to think about what's best for your family. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I will. Thanks. 3 weeks later. Hey, how are your days? Last week was a total disaster. I had a day off and was taking care of my 1-year-old son while my partner went to work in the city. My brother came over to help me pack up all my stuff and load it into his car. And then, to top it all off, the mailman dropped off the divorce papers. A notice inviting us to mediation so we can try to get divorced in a civilized way and split everything up fairly. How did you feel? I was devastated, to be honest. I mean, we had our problems, but I never expected her to cheat on me like this. The document stated that she was in a relationship with this guy. First and last name. I have evidence, and that will serve as leverage in establishing child support, among other things. So, what did you do when she got home? The moment she walked in, I confronted her. I told her I knew the truth and that I had solid evidence to back it up. I let her know just how hurt I was by what she did. I told her to get in touch with my lawyer, and then I handed her the divorce papers. After that, I went to visit her parents. How did that go? Her parents were totally stunned, but they took my side once I explained everything to them. I'd written everything down, just like my lawyer had instructed me to. I started by asking them if they thought I was a good husband and father who cared about my family. They agreed, which means they can't be used as witnesses against me in court. They understood that she did something truly awful and completely wrecked our lives. Not to mention our kids' lives, too. That's terrible. Did you talk to any of her friends? Yes, I called a friend of mine, and he took care of spreading the news among her friends. I had to do it, to protect myself and my children. About 2 hours later, my brother-in-law gave me a call. He said that Elizabeth had come clean about cheating on me with her ex, but she didn't admit to how close they were. He reassured me that everyone was on my side and that she's the one who destroyed our family. It was a tough pill to swallow, but at least I had some clarity and support. That's really tough, Aiden. I can't imagine what you must be feeling right now. Yeah, it's been really hard. Her sister even visited Elizabeth and told her how evil she was. But my brother-in-law said that everything can be saved. He even told me that he cheated on his wife and she forgave him, and now they're very happy. Do you think everything can be saved? Honestly, Joseph, I don't know. Later on, Elizabeth's father gave me a call too. He owned up to the fact that his daughter was entirely to blame and that she didn't understand the gravity of her actions. He made it clear that the other guy would never be welcomed back into their home, and he would stop providing her with financial support. He even tried to reach out to the other guy, but he didn't pick up. At the end of our conversation, he said that he believed that our marriage could still be salvaged. What do you think, Aiden? I don't know, it's hard to forgive and forget, you know? And I have recordings of her saying things like, I wonder if your dad's Johnson is the same as yours. And I'm leaving my husband. I even have her saying, I give you 2 years to come back here. It's clear that she never stopped loving him. After her family called her out for cheating on me, she began sending me numerous apologetic texts claiming she was clueless about what she was doing. However, it's been a while since then, and she hasn't bothered to contact me or visit me even once. On top of that, she drove past my parents' house several times, but she didn't have the courage to stop and say anything. Plus, she also admitted that she had always loved the guy she cheated on me with. That's a tough situation. Yeah, and now that I've told my lawyer I want a divorce, her sister is accusing me of being selfish and trying to destroy the marriage. She even said I was seeking revenge on our kids by going through with the divorce. It's crazy. It sounds like a difficult situation to be in. I'm sorry you have to go through this. Yeah, it is. But I know I can't keep living with someone who treats me like garbage. The divorce will happen, and I just have to deal with the fallout from her family. 2 months later. Hey, Aiden. How have you been doing since the last time we talked? Honestly, Joseph, it's been tough. It's been 2 months since I handed her the divorce papers, and I moved to the capital to live with my parents. I still can't believe what happened. I can imagine. How are you coping with everything? It's been hard, but I'm trying to stay positive. I have to focus on the future and what's best for me and my kids. My wife is trying to keep the house, and she offered me only a small amount of money to buy me out of the mortgage. But I invested so much in building that house, and I need a significant amount of money to start over. Have you talked to your lawyers about it? Yes, the conversation between our lawyers continues. She wants to keep the house, but I found out that she could be forced to sell it. I just hope that everything will work out for the best. I hope so too, Aiden. Have you been in contact with your wife or her family recently? Not really. Her sister invited me to her daughter's communion last Sunday, so I went to spend more time with my boys. But then my wife came up and asked me if my decision was really final. At that point, I had already made up my mind that I couldn't continue with the marriage after what she had done, but she kept trying to convince me that she was really sorry and that she had changed. That must have been a tough conversation for you. It was. It was hard to keep my composure when she kept going on and on about how sorry she was and how much she regretted cheating on me. She even mentioned that she had ended things with her ex and went to see a priest or exorcist, but I don't really care about any of that. If she truly wanted to make things right, she should have come clean to me. So, what happened next? To put it in other words, I wanted to know the full extent of what had happened between my wife and the other man, so I asked her directly how many times they had been close, but she refused to answer. I also asked her about a particular party with her colleagues and why she had rented an apartment instead of staying with her friends. She was unable to provide a reasonable response and became quiet. I didn't want to keep hurting her, but I had to know the truth. I explained to her that if she had truly regretted what she did, she wouldn't have lied to me for 2 months after we broke up. I even told her that video calls were just as close for me, and that I knew she had closeness with the other guy. She couldn't even give me a number for how many times they had been together. That must have been really hard for you to hear. It was, but I needed to know the truth. I couldn't just let her keep lying to me. I asked her how she imagined we could be together again, but she didn't have an answer. Our conversation got cut short when our son walked in on us. I reminded her that her actions not only hurt me, but also our 2 amazing little boys. It clapped her hard, and she started yelling at me for talking about it in front of the kids. But I couldn't just sweep it under the rug and act like everything was fine. I had to be truthful with her and myself. So, 2 weeks after that, the lawyers came to an agreement, and we're going to have a divorce. I get to spend time with my kids almost every weekend now, but it's still not enough for me. It hurts so much that sometimes I can barely handle it. I just can't bring myself to let my 1- and 3-year-old boys grow up without a dad because of a woman who doesn't know how to act right. I understand how you feel. Is there anything you can do to see your kids more often? Unfortunately, the law doesn't allow me to have them more often. I'll have to start going there in the middle of the week or something to survive. That sounds like a lot to handle. How are you coping with all of this? It's tough, Joseph. I'm trying my hardest to hold it together, but there are times when it feels like too much. I never imagined that my marriage would fall apart like this, especially with 2 young kids in the mix. But I'm doing my best to stay focused on what truly matters. My boys. I'm here for you, Aiden. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. 2 weeks before divorce.
Aiden, we need to talk.
What do you want to talk about? You made your decision and showed your true colors.
I love you and want to be with you. We don't have to get divorced.
Do you seriously think that I can forgive you and we can be a happy family after you betrayed me? I'll answer for you. No.
Why are you being so cruel to me? I always tried for our family. I did everything for them. Anyway, let's talk about it. You see, my parents are angry and don't want to talk to me.
I see. Did you decide to be with me again because your parents abandoned you? They probably haven't given you any money yet. LOL.
But it's not about the money. I really want to be with you and raise our kids together. Wake up and fall asleep together. I miss you so much.
It's a shame you didn't have those desires when you cheated on me with your ex. While I was trying for our family, you were just having fun with your boyfriend. So don't even try to write to me like that. I don't believe you and I never will again. The divorce will be finalized in 2 weeks and you won't be able to change anything.
But, Aiden... Oh, okay. Then I'll find someone better than you.
LOL, good luck with that. Elizabeth, I don't even want to talk to you anymore, so please don't message me. Bye.